Hey you guys, what's up? It is Mossy from Pro Gamer Academy, back with more LCS content for you guys. Today we're going to be looking at Week 6. Well, really taking a look back at Week 5, kind of seeing what happened there, and then looking forward to Week 6. We only have a few more weeks left here in the LCS. I believe it's a 9-week summer split. So, you know, we're getting down to brass tacks. We're getting, closer to the playoffs, and honestly, the dust is starting to kind of settle in terms of, who the top teams are, and obviously things can still change, but we're starting to figure out who some of these teams to look out for, at least in terms of playoffs, in terms of, who's going to be representing us at Worlds and things like that. We're starting to figure it out, so let's get into it. So if you guys remember where we left off in the previous week, in the previous video, the 4 teams that we were really talking about, 100 Thieves, TSM, Cloud9, Team Liquid, some of these storylines have really just remained the same. It's been these top 4 teams, and you're really looking at Cloud9 and Team Liquid right now with some of these roster changes. Actually, I mean, pretty much almost every single LCS team has had like some, we're getting into the nitty-gritty part of the season where orgs are trying to make decisions in terms of, players that they're picking up, trying to change their odds for the playoffs, because now, I mean, it's crunch time. No one wants to be left, in the dust, not making playoffs, things like that. Even though, I mean, most of these teams will make playoffs, but obviously 2 of them have to drop, so teams just trying to, put subs in and give themselves the best opportunity possible. In terms of teams that are worried about not making playoffs, there's these 3 at the bottom. FlyQuest coming in with a 9-24 record, along with CLG, the exact same record, and then Golden Guardians at 8-25. Now, pretty close records between all 3 of these guys, and it's really wild. Like, if you compare that 9-24 record that FlyQuest and CLG hold to the next team, which is Immortals at 15-18, it's just wild how there's such a gap in the competitiveness and overall skill level of some of these teams. However, obviously everyone is making moves, everyone is trying to improve. The real teams to talk about right now, I think the real story is how, who's going to end up at the top. So this 100 Thieves roster currently in first place at 24 wins and 9 losses. TSM right under them at 23 wins and 10 losses. Cloud9 just a tad under them with 21 and 12. And then Team Liquid obviously in 4th, kind of a classic placing for that team at 20 wins and 13 losses. So that kind of shows you the scape of, where the top 4 teams are in the league right now. It's very, very important to talk about EG, who is the team that's in 5th place. They're right under Team Liquid. They've been on a bit of a hot streak recently, and they brought their record up to 19 and 14. So just under Team Liquid. Actually, I think that the conversation now, given EG's recent, shifts in performance, their improvements, the conversation needs to shift to include Evil Geniuses as a team who can potentially make a run for, maybe one of those top 3 spots. If they keep up, doing what they're doing now, and they just keep playing smart, they've eliminated some of these issues with players like Jizuke not, always making the greatest plays. They're not perfect, but I do think EG needs to be included, especially when you look at their record, and how competitive they've been. Obviously, just to give you guys the full picture, right under them is Dignitas at 17 and 16, and then obviously Immortals at 15 and 18. So, I mean, right now, obviously the only places that are tied for are 8th and 9th place with FlyQuest and CLG, which hasn't been the case. I mean, historically, this season has been like ties in 1st place, ties in 2nd place, ties in 3rd place. Like, it's been ties all over. And I think a lot of these teams are still very evenly matched. 100 Thieves, TSM, Cloud9, Team Liquid. It feels like any of these teams can actually take a win off the others, depending on the day. But the biggest news that we have, I think, this week is that Team Liquid are going to be putting Alphari back in. I'm not 100% sure about Santorin. I think Santorin is still out due to health issues. But Alphari will be such a huge upgrade for Team Liquid, and it should make them just a little bit more competitive. That's not talking crap about Barney at all as a player. Obviously those are huge shoes to fill. And I think, actually, Team Liquid, with the 2 subs, has been performing a lot better than most people would have expected. Obviously, their last week was really disappointing. They had a lot of tough matchups, but Team Liquid is in a fine place to rebound and to, take the league by, by storm again with Alfarian maybe getting Santorin back in the future. Moving onwards, though, just for a quick recap, if you guys were unable to, watch the games last weekend, I just kind of want to tell you what ended up happening. We went into Friday, 100 Thieves took out Team Liquid 1-0, EG beat FlyQuest 1-0, Dignitas actually took a win off of TSM, which was just so massive. If you guys didn't watch that game, I promise, please go back and watch it. It was wonderful. So huge upset win for them there. Cloud9 was able to beat Immortals, obviously. That fairly simple for them. And then Golden Guardians actually taking the win off of CLG, and that's kind of what prompted some of this discussion about these bottom teams. If Golden Guardians is going to start being competitive again, then there actually is a race to see who ends up getting eliminated, or who ends up making it, rather, into playoffs at the bottom of the league. Moving onwards to Saturday, TSM beat Immortals, EG beat CLG, Cloud9 actually beat Team Liquid, big win for them there. Dignitas was able to win against Golden Guardians, and then 100 Thieves beat FlyQuest. No real surprises this day, more or less what you'd expected. Maybe the Cloud9 game a bit surprising, but C9 looks a bit more put together right now, if you ask me. Going into Sunday, though, July 4th, 4th of July weekend, whatever. EG beat Golden Guardians, as you would expect. Good win for them there, though. They needed it. 100 Thieves beat CLG. You can't drop games to those teams, so yep, good. You got the win. Keep going. TSM beat Cloud9. That's the VOD we're watching now. Fairly good game. One of the better ones from the weekend, I thought. I was watching Azir, so, Team Liquid beat FlyQuest. I mean, yeah, you have to beat FlyQuest. And then the Dignitas Immortal game, or Dignitas versus Immortals, excuse me. Yeah, Dignitas dropping the ball here, losing to Immortals. This was a win that they kind of needed. You hate to see it, but, we'll see what they look like in the future in the coming weeks. So that is kind of your recap. We have some great games coming up within the next week. The ones I can see on the top of my head, we got 100 Thieves versus EG. Should be a very, very good game. 100 Thieves also versus TSM. So make sure you guys are tuning in for that. And that's all I got for you. We'll see you on the next one.